There was a time when the name America itself sparked excitement in travelers across the world. The United States wasn't just a destination, it was a dream. The lights of New York City, the open roads of California, the magic of Disney, the promise of endless choices. For decades, millions longed for their first trip to the US, but step into an American airport today, and you'll feel something entirely different. The energy is gone. Terminals that once buzzed like miniature cities now echo with silence. Empty rows of check-in counters, closed food stalls, and weary travelers staring at half-filled departure boards paint a picture that's impossible to ignore. This isn't just a travel problem, it's a transformation. The year is 2025, and the once mighty American tourism engine is slowing down. What used to be the symbol of freedom and opportunity has become a mirror reflecting deeper cracks in the system, from rising costs and stricter rules to fading global trust. This is not just about airports, it's about what they represent. The end of an era in which America was the heartbeat of global travel. 10. The silence in the skies. It began quietly, with fewer planes taking off. Airline trackers that once glowed with a dense network of U.S. flights now look thin, almost fragile. The skies above America, once filled with contrails stretching in every direction, now seem emptier. In 2025, airlines aren't canceling routes out of choice. They're doing it because the seats simply aren't full. Tourists from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East are canceling trips, citing high airfare costs, long visa delays, and rising frustration with travel restrictions. The same skies that once symbolized America's openness now carry a message of exhaustion. Flying into the US no longer feels like arriving at a dream. It feels like surviving a system that has forgotten what travel means. Chapter 9. The Fall of Tourist Giants. New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Miami, names that once defined luxury and excitement, are facing a quiet downfall. Hotel occupancy rates have plunged. Restaurants that once had weeks-long waiting lists now beg for customers. Entire tourism districts, from Times Square to the Las Vegas Strip, are surviving on discount deals and domestic travelers. The numbers tell a story of loss, but the faces tell one of disbelief. Taxi drivers, hotel workers, and tour guides, once busy year-round, now wait for tourists who never arrive. Even international travel agencies report a decline in U.S. bookings by nearly 40%. The world still admires America's sights, but admiration no longer guarantees arrival. 8. Airports without journeys. Airports are often called the front doors of a nation, and across the U.S., those doors are closing. At Chicago O'Hare, concourses once alive with passengers now stand partly empty. In Dallas and Denver, lights dim earlier to save energy. At smaller airports in states like Ohio and Oregon, terminals are locked for days at a time due to lack of flights. Some airports are even repurposing empty terminals into cargo zones or office spaces. What used to be symbols of America's global reach are turning into quiet monuments of a time when the world couldn't wait to arrive here. It's not just fewer travelers, it's fewer reasons to come. 7. The visa problem. For many global travelers, the dream of visiting the United States now ends before it even begins. The American visa system, once considered rigorous but fair, has become painfully slow and discouraging. In some countries, travelers wait up to 10 months just for an interview slot. Meanwhile, competing destinations, from Japan and Canada to the UAE and Thailand, now offer instant digital visas or visa-free access. In a world where decisions are made in seconds, waiting nearly a year to visit feels like waiting for a promise that will never come. The result? Millions of travelers are choosing anywhere but America. Since the shift in traveler psychology, there's also been a powerful emotional shift. Travelers no longer judge destinations by landmarks alone, they judge them by feeling. And for many, the feeling associated with America has changed. Concerns over safety, rising gun incidents, aggressive tipping culture, and harsh airport security checks have reshaped global perception. Even if these stories represent a fraction of reality, perception spreads faster than facts. Travelers want peace, simplicity, and comfort, and the modern American travel experience sadly feels more like a challenge than a reward. 5. The domestic decline. But it's not just international visitors who are disappearing. Even Americans are flying less. After years of pandemic-era price surges, flight cancellations, and shrinking airline services, domestic travel feels like a luxury again. Many Americans now drive instead of fly. Others are replacing real vacations with online experiences or local getaways. Destinations like Hawaii and Alaska, which depend on air travel, are facing severe tourism slumps. It's a painful twist. The same citizens who once built the world's busiest travel culture are now avoiding their own skies. 4. The rise of global competitors. While America struggles to revive its tourism sector, the rest of the world has quietly leveled up. Dubai's futuristic airports, Japan's seamless travel systems, and Europe's integrated visa networks have made global tourism smoother than ever before. Travelers who once saved for years to visit the US are now choosing countries that offer similar experiences without the hassle. The result? America's travel prestige is fading not because it lacks beauty, but because it lacks adaptation. In a global race of innovation, the US is still running, but no longer leading. 3. The economic chain reaction. The tourism industry isn't just about fun, it's about survival. Every canceled trip means lost revenue for airlines, hotels, restaurants, souvenir shops, and small businesses. Experts estimate the US loses over $200 billion every year from tourism declines alone. Local economies, especially in states like Nevada, Florida, and New York, are feeling the shockwaves. Tourism once helped balance America's trade and cultural image. Now its collapse is becoming a silent economic emergency. And as the planes stay grounded, thousands of livelihoods are too. 2. The emotional distance. There's a kind of sadness that comes with this silence. For decades, the world didn't just visit America, it believed in it. Travelers saw the US as a symbol of adventure, freedom, and endless discovery. Now that image feels dimmed. The excitement of visiting the Statue of Liberty or walking down Hollywood Boulevard has been replaced with anxiety, cost, and confusion. What was once an emotional connection, a dream, is now just another complicated trip. And when emotion leaves travel, travel loses its meaning. 1. The end of an era. This isn't just about fewer flights or lower tourism numbers, it's about change. The United States, once the center of global wanderlust, is facing a quiet reckoning. Empty airports are not merely physical spaces. They're emotional mirrors, reflecting what happens when a nation's warmth cools and its openness fades. But endings often bring clarity. Perhaps this decline is also an opportunity, a chance for America to rediscover what made it magical: openness, innovation, and welcome. Because the world doesn't want America to disappear. It just wants the America it once believed in to return. The empty airports of 2025 tell a story far larger than travel. They tell us about change, humility, and the passing of an era. But every ending holds a beginning. If America listens to the silence echoing through its terminals, it might find its way back. Not just as a destination, but as a feeling the world can believe in again. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.